Hey guys, what's up, it's Jaxie, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a Sculk Farm for your Minecraft world. This is a super simple farm that anyone can build. So this farm works with a skeleton sort of spawner generator to kill mobs near a Sculk catalyst. And what this does is if I place some dirt nearby, when the skeleton dies, you'll see this dirt gets converted into Sculk. So if I just break these and replace it, see it all gets converted into Sculk like that, and the Sculk veins. Then I can come along with a Silk Touch pickaxe, if I just hop into survival, and break this and get my Sculk blocks. Now you can't harvest every single Sculk block from this farm, but you can get all of them except for the Sculk catalyst, which we only need one of to generate this farm. But then once we've dug it out, we just grab out more dirt and place it right back, like this. And then wait for the next skeleton to fall, then we can harvest again. Now if a mob falls and dies and all of these dirt blocks are already converted into Sculk blocks, there is a small chance that a Sculk sensor or shrieker will spawn. Those are the guys that detect when you're moving and make the loud shrieking noise. Now it doesn't have to be dirt, this block that you place, but it does have to be a naturally occurring block, like stone would work, andesite, granite, but not cobblestone. So you can't use a cobblestone generator for this, but you can use a stone generator. Now, normally Sculk sensors don't actually spawn more than 2 in a 9x3x9 area. However, I have recently come around to 3 spawning in a row like this. I'm not sure whether this is a bug or a server side thing, but I have had more than 2 spawn in an area. So you will have to do a bit of testing for that, but just a general rule, when one comes in like a Sculk sensor or shrieker, just break it straight away, and that way it leaves more sort of places for them to generate. Now if you want just the veins, you can harvest them off the walls with a Silk Touch. Now a hoe is the most efficient tool for this, so I can go ahead and harvest all of these, and just like that I've already got a stack of veins. And if I want the XP from the Sculk block itself, let me just clear my XP. There we go, clear my XP. I'll just break it with a hoe that isn't Silk Touch, and you can see you actually get loads and loads of XP levels. So just from one little batch, I get 1 level, which is pretty good. 2 levels already. And if you replace your Sculk blocks and then break them, you also get the XP from that. So you can harvest a bunch of these Sculk blocks, put them into a big cube, and then break them if you want. It is up to you. Now the materials you'll need will appear on your screen now. You do need to get some type of non-natural building block. I suggest using stone brick, as it's pretty easy to get, or smooth stone. But you can use any sort of unnatural building block, and we can get on to the tutorial. Now one of the key things you need for this farm is a spawner. Now this can be a zombie or skeleton spawner. I here have a skeleton spawner, and I've lit up the room nicely. Now a zombie spawner does work the same, however you get less useful drops from the zombie compared to the skeleton. You don't get the bones and the arrows and the bows and all sorts of things like that. So I suggest trying to find a skeleton one, but if you only can find a zombie one, that's okay. But what we're going to do is light it up. Now for the purpose of this tutorial, I have night vision on just so you can clearly see the blocks around me, but yours is going to be a little bit darker. Then once we've done that, we want to dig out 2 on each side for me. So there's a total gap of 4 between the spawner and the wall. So if yours already has a gap of 3, you'll have to dig out 1 more. So we just want the gap between the spawner and the wall to be a total of 4. Now if you run into a cave like this, or your spawner is half open, you're going to have to build in some walls. But let's dig this out like this and build out like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, then the wall. Okay, so we now have this here. Our spawner is 4 blocks away from all the walls. There should also be a 3 block gap between the spawner and the ceiling, and there's a torch, and then 2 blocks, so that's a total of 3. Now we want to dig 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the floor, and dig that right around. So that means there is going to be a 4 block gap between the spawner and the floor, and if we just dig over to the spawner, we can see that there is. So if I grab out a more noticeable block like granite, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 blocks there. So dig that right out, and then we can get back onto making more of the farm using some water. Now that we have this room dug out, you may need to add a few extra torches to stop skeletons from spawning. We can add in a water bucket in the 4 corners. And if you've dug this room out to the correct size, you should notice that there's one dry block in the center. And there is. How perfect. Now we're going to dig 3 blocks down on this block. 1, 2, 3, like this. Then we want to decide which side we want to have the spawner room on. So I'm going to have it on this side here. This is going to be the west side. We're going to go into this hole and dig out 7 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're going to have to add in some blocks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a total of 8. So here, because we dug out 7 blocks plus the 1 block here. Now, if you run into a cave system like this, you're going to have to do a little bit of building just to make it all closed. Then dig 1 block back out here. Using a bit of scaffolding, we're going to be placing it in here just like that so we can easily move in and out of this. Now, at the end of this, we're going to be digging up 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. And then after that, we'll dig up another 15. Now, you can dig up only 11 blocks after this 3. But that does run the risk of mobs having armor and potentially not dying from the fall, so you have to kill them manually. But I suggest trying to dig up 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Just like that. Now we'll place a soul sand here. This is the opposite side to the water. This is the side where we go 15 up. Dig up 2 here. 1, 2, like this. Place 3 signs. And 1 oak fence like this. Now you want to make sure that this oak fence is connected on all 4 sides, so you may need to add in some extra blocks just to make this all connected. And you can see when it's all connected on all 4 sides, it looks like a sort of an X. Now if you've got a zombie spawner here instead of a skeleton, baby zombies can fall within these holes, so you either want to have a place for them to die and drop off, so they'll fall and drop off and die there, or you can grab out a magma block and place it underneath that fence, and that way they'll die as well. Now using some more scaffolding, we're going to come up to the top of this chamber here. All the way up to the top. Just so we've got enough headroom, like this. And dig 2 blocks over. 1, 2. This is towards the opposite side of the farm. So if we dig 2 blocks over this way, and then a few more, you'll notice that we're actually above the farm now if I dig a few blocks down, and we don't want that. So we want to dig the opposite way to the spawner. And the way you do that is by digging the opposite way to the chamber down here, so it's all flowing in the one direction. Now we're going to dig across here, and you need to be careful when digging down here if you've got a cave underneath you like I do. So I've got to be really careful here if I was in survival. I'm going to dig across 1 more, so there's a total of 3 here. And we're going to dig down 15 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then you've noticed I fall, so I need to be really careful there, and I need to recount this 15 and build a platform there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's the 15th block, so I'm going to put a platform underneath that. Now, for the sake of building this, it might be easiest to just go ahead and add in some blocks to dig out or to build around, just so it's easier for yourself, but you don't have to do this. Now that we're in this hole, we're going to dig out and open this up like this, digging 1 block right around us. So if you have got a closed up space, you'll have a 3x3 area like this, with your hole being in the center. It's exactly what we want. Then we're going to dig out another 3, going 1, 2, 3, and 1, then 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to have to do some building here. You might have to do this, or you might just have to do some digging. But we want to make sure we're not digging towards our farm again, because if we dig this way, you'll notice we'll hit our water chamber, and we don't want that. So we've got to be really careful about that. But if you do dig that way, it's no biggie. You just have to refill it in and then dig the opposite way. Let's dig all of this out. So we should have a total of a 6x6 area. Then going over to the side where we've got our hole, we're going to dig 2 blocks down, 1, 2, like this, and cover all of this with man-made blocks, like this. And we don't want to, we're actually going to be digging down here, so we don't need to put these 2 there. And we'll just dig out this area like this. Now this area, we're leaving a 1 block gap between the wall, and we want to place the floor of these with man-made blocks. And we can do the edges as well. Now I suggest doing these edges in slabs as it allows for more headroom and just clearer viewing. So some sort of slab is great. I'm going to be using stone brick slabs. Behind these slabs, you also want to put man-made blocks and on every single wall. So we're going to be working on that now. Making sure we have lots of man-made blocks so the sculk can't actually spread outside of our chamber and take over the world, because we don't want that. So we've got a very stone bricky room here. We've got stone brick everywhere on the roofs, and I've even gone up the chamber just 3 more blocks just for a bit of a safety precaution. You don't have to do this, but I have. Now in this corner here, we're going to place 2 blocks here and here, and then we are going to go ahead with slabs and cover around this hole. This disconnects this so the sculk veins can't spread up here and take over the world. Now let's grab our sculk catalyst and put it in this block right here, making sure we also replace the block below that sculk catalyst like that. That's very important that we do that, and then place it here. Then we will grab our dirt and we can start placing in all of our dirt. Then also we need to grab out our dripstone, our pointed dripstone, and place it at the bottom of this hole. Now we need to make our way back into the spawner chamber. Now the easiest way to do this is to come over to this block here, on the side that's closest to your spawner, and dig a few blocks across. And that way our scaffolding will be right there and we can go into here. Because now we've got to finish off this water system. So we're going to be placing in some water here, on this block here, and that should flow right to the end of the sign. Then going up this scaffolding, we need to fill in this hole. We're going to be placing water going right up on this soul sand, and we should get a bubble column. So you can place a water bucket on every single layer, or you can use kelp by placing water at the top, letting it flow down, and then growing kelp. But this way is pretty easy, and you don't need too many water buckets. Especially if you've got an infinite water source, it's not too tricky to get it all. Then break this block here, place a water bucket, and it'll flow just like this. Now we need to be aware, because if we jump down here, we're likely to die because of the pointed dripstone. So what I would suggest you doing is just digging down here and digging a little staircase for now, and then you can fill that up in later. So place in another water bucket here on this block right here, and it should flow across. Then grab out a sign of any sort and place it right here. This stops the water from flowing and pushes you right over that dripstone. Then go down the staircase you made, or die to your doom. Now we want to head over to our spawner room, and we can just do this by breaking in the direction of our spawner. Now you may have gravel or something around, but you just want to break over towards there and just hop up into your spawner room. Now we're not going to break the torches just yet. We have one more thing we need to do. So we're going to hop down this hole and place scaffolding there just to stop the water flow. And then we're going to break this block here. Now this is just so the skeletons can actually step up onto this fence, because if there's a block there, you'll notice not even the player can fit there. And that is an issue, so we're going to break that block, then climb back up our scaffolding, break all that scaffolding, and then go around and place a slab here, and then break all of the torches. Now that slab there needs to be there to stop skeletons from spawning on top of the spawner, but then we can go ahead and break our torches and quickly run away into our little safe area, blocking this up. And remember that we need to block this up with man-made blocks. Now remember, to harvest this sculk, we need to use a silk touch hoe, as a hoe is the fastest tool, and if you want to get the XP from it, you don't have to actually use a silk touch. And boom, we have our first bit of sculk already. And so all I need to do is grab out a silk touch hoe and break this, and you'll notice because we have the slabs here, the sculk isn't actually spreading up the chamber, and that is perfect, exactly what we want. So I can go ahead, if I just get back out of here, it's a bit tricky sometimes, but if I can go ahead and grab any sort of hoe, enchant it with silk touch, go into survival. You'll notice I'll start getting my Sculk blocks. And even without efficiency, the hoe breaks this so fast. A netherite hoe doesn't even have to be netherite. And if you want the vines, of course, you can break them off of the wall. Then you can place your dirt back in, continue this farm. Look at that, so much Sculk. So now you guys know how to build a Sculk farm in your Minecraft world. Oh, and we just got a shrieker there, look at that. So on that note, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and remember to subscribe if you're new. And remember, stay carbonated.